BEEX project is a no-profit foundation about visual art and photography. If you want to help us, just drop a donation on buymeacoffee.com/BerlinExplorer. So, welcome today for this 50 minutes of experience. I'm with Alexandra Von Fuerst. Welcome, Alexandra.
Hi, nice to meet you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's a really wonderful to have you here and talk with you today about your experience in photography. As you know, I will love if you can introduce a bit of yourself, and then we can go with some specific point.
Of course. Well, my name is Alexandra, and I'm currently living in Paris. It's a little bit outside. And I have been, I'm half Italian and half Slovak. And I grew up in Italy. I studied there. I studied in Milano. And then when I finished my studies, I was moving a lot. So I went to stay 1 year in Berlin. Then I moved to London. And now I'm in Paris. But I also spent my last 9 months in Mexico City. So a lot of my experience was to just get to know different cultures and get to experience and find my place. And I think now I finally found the place where I feel comfortable in. And then when I want to start more. And I started mainly working in fashion photography when I finished. And because that was my dream at the time, and I wanted to just move into that. And London really was the place where it all kind of started. And then, and then I kind of now I'm moving into reconnecting with that side of me, which always wanted to do art photography and art. And so I have been spending the last 2 years working on my artwork and personal series, and which I will be excited to kind of bring out in the next year. And it's been a very intense work for the past couple of years. So I'm happy that I will be able to share it soon.
Yes, it's really interesting what you do in the way you present your work, and even the transformation there is inside. I think there is a lot of communication in what you do it, and a lot of research of yourself. This is so clear and so nice. Also to see all of this use of the color, especially. And this is what attracted me to contact you to have this podcast with you. And I really enjoy to watch your portfolio. It's so full, really full and various. And but I can also say there is for sure something is repetitive inside of your work, and in a way it's your sign, we can say. And first of all, I would love to ask you what do you do in general? I mean, how it's composed your daily life, and when you start to create?
Well, my daily life has certain patterns, but it also changes immensely from like month to month. So in a way, the things that stay with me are that I always meditate or do some spiritual practice in the morning. I have my own practice, and it also evolves in the time, so it's not always the same. And that's how I start my day. And I start my day really taking time for myself. So like kind of between 6 and 9, there is nothing but just me time, which means a long shower and breakfast and all of it. And I love cooking, so it's important for me that everything is, and I feel like for me, the whole day is a bit of a meditative state. Like the whole creation actually starts when I wake up. Like there is not a moment where I feel like it's not part of it, because for me, doing photography or doing art is not only about that shooting moment. It's about like how you perceive reality and how you're able to communicate it. And I think so for me, it's like the moment my eyes open, I'm already like kind of feeling the essence of the day, and then diving into it. And then for me, cooking is an art, so I put like all of my energy into it.
Yeah,
And
that
then
was,
I
yeah,
put like and then I sit down like at 9:30. I'm in front of my laptop, and I do whatever needs to be done, like whether it is email, whether it is like doing editing or preparing research, or like anything that has to be done, sort of like accounting, like a lot of,
yeah.
mainly it's a lot of research. And
Yeah, it was for sure. My question was a tricky question. It was a bit provocative, but yeah, I was sure that you was answering me in this way. It's the same way I would answer too. I mean, there is no really start time. I think it's something you are in, totally involved every day, and even when you sleep, you're creating something inside of your mind.
yes.
And this is something I think is not everyone has. I'm quite sure about that. I mean, for many people, the creative part and the art part, we can say it's something come always in certain time. But for others, it's something is always there, even if they are doing the most worst stuff of them life. Is they are creating something, or they are analyzing what happened in front of them in a way of we can say also reflecting themselves. So also in a philosophy way, no?
Yes.
And I asked you that, yeah, because I wanted just to provoke a bit and to get this answer, also because it's nice, I think, sometimes to hear that, because many people turn around the concept but never go to the point that, yeah, I'm like that because I do it that every day in everything, in every situation. And just to go a bit more in your experience, what do you think started to influence your main work today? What is something? Because I think there was an evolution, there was a transformation inside of your work, and from the basic, probably the stuff more basic, you started to find more a pattern for yourself.
Well, it's a good question because it's been like a series of events, and I feel like especially the last 3-4 years, have been very immersive, very intense, in the sense of like it wouldn't be enough to like sum it up in an hour. Like it really was like just a lot of things happening the whole time. And so I think that was just like I think at one point I just decided I will dive completely into life, and I will just experience everything at the maximum, and just like, and I experienced the good and the bad at the same time. And I was just like, I wanted to feel it all, and I wanted just to dive into it all. And I think at that point my life became a whole movie, and photography became just, I mean, it became this kind of research in trying to understand that as well. Like it became a medicine as well. It became part of the whole process. For that, for me there is no, and there is no difference. Like even the whole evolution is just my life moving into life even more. It's just me becoming more immersive into it. And of course there has been things like traveling to India or traveling to Mexico or Cambodia and Thailand. These have been all things that of course have been shaping a lot the way I see things, because I've been influenced by this beauty that has, that was there, and that I could see better just because I probably was just more open to that experience. It doesn't mean there is no in other places. And now that's why, like, I feel like I immersed myself a lot, and now I'm just kind of taking a step back and actually putting roots and just being like, okay, now I just take the time to just create, because I've been researching so much in life that now I just kind of am feeling like I need to sit down and write everything that happened, because it's been a lot. So in a way, it's been, I need to take the process now and bring it back into photography, which is what I'm doing. And I think what you've seen is just a part of kind of the little things that have been sparking out of it in the meanwhile, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you have an entire life, and probably in the entire life you will not be able to complete the entire research you do it, you know.
Of course.
I mean, me as you as artist, I think I feel always like I did like the 1% of what I could do it, and even if many people tell me I'm overproductive, yeah, sometimes people take a joke of me and say, "Yeah, man, you know, I sleep. You have to try," you know, stuff like that. And but for me, it's like there is no, I cannot stop this flow. It's a flow. It's always there. It's and the more I do it, more I want to do it. So then it's more you do it, and less you think you did, because then come up other stuff, and this is so overexcitement. And I was watching at your artwork at first at the study of fertility, and it's so interesting how you designed the visual part. And I asked to myself, this is a way to use photography for me different to what I'm used to do, because I'm not a kind of photographer that I like to create. I mean, I like to in a way structure an idea and then shooting for this idea, but it's not something I do it commonly. It's really something rare. I have to be really totally involved in that to make something like that. And so then I asked to myself, how do you transpond your research in images? I mean, it's something for sure you are suggested from what you study or from what you research in general. It can be what you see in front of you, or what you read, or what you listen. But these images come up in your mind as, I mean, by themselves, or it's something, you know, there are some photographers, they have a SketchUp and they sketch the certain idea, and they try to repeat from the sketch in the reality, and then taking pictures. How does it work for you?
It's yeah, I mean, it comes very naturally in a way. So but what happens, if I had to maybe make it like understandable, is that I research a lot. Like, my research is super rich, it goes into so many things, and then from that research, because it's not visual, as you're saying, I just usually kind of make an abstract drawing, so to kind of get an idea of the energy I want to put into that work. And then from that drawing, I try to make, which is abstract, I try to see how I can put it into something real. But that kind of process becomes organic. Like, in a way, it's also done in the way that I take the things that are around me. Like, I don't go, and also my whole idea is not to go and look for something far, or like use things. I want to use things that are around me. I want to use the things that are given by nature. In a way, it's just about taking what nature gives me and putting it back into it. And there are certain things that are done they just happen. I mean, the image, like the first image, where there is the body, and like you see just the blood and the insect on the body, like that, just it was like me kind of, I was so into this project. I was talking about it to everyone. I was like, so yes, it was beautiful, because it was my friend, and she just had her period, and she just said, like, do you want to take a picture? And I said, of course, yes. And then we were on the river, and I just started painting with the blood on her body, and then we found this insect right next to it, and we're like, okay, this is perfect, this is just fitting. And And somehow I wasn't thinking about a drawing. It was just about making something that for me, it's the emotion. It's not about the visual. Like I'm trying to put into something physical an emotion that I feel. It's very visceral for me. Like honestly, all of it really comes just from the bottom of my, it's like it comes from my womb. And I think that's why study of fertility was so important, because all of I create comes from there. It's like it's a sort of feminine power that just wants to come out, and that's how I perceive it. So I don't, it's just me being a channel into it, but I'm not really deciding it. And of course I have ideas, I have millions of things in my mind, but at the end it's a combination between things I plan. So some of them I did plan and I make out, and some of them just happen spontaneously. And I think that combination is what allows me really to understand. And then, I mean, study of fertility, there is more than just on my website, but it's something that has taken me like 10 shootings over 2 years, because I was like doing one and then like I was like, okay, this is not, and then I was redoing it, and then I was, until I got the emotion that I wanted to get to. So for me, it's not about the visual, but it's about what does it make you feel. And that's, until it doesn't get to that, I'm not satisfied. Like it has to feel that way. And I wanted it to be in your face. I just, like, that's what I wanted. I wanted everyone to look at it and be like, okay, I need to think about it. I need to see that again. I need to figure out what is it that it's moving inside of me. And I think that's always what I want from people, like to stop and look at things and wonder what they think about it.
Yeah, this is, I think, will be a point really of satisfaction. I mean, it's really difficult to get this point. I mean, I think it's a challenge to get the attention from others. I think it's really a challenge today. It's really difficult because we are in a kind of world oversaturated of media, of everything, and in any situation, I think also in a personal way, it's really difficult to go deep with people in general. It's to go dive and find, a lot also of yourself in what you see. It's difficult. I mean, even if you talk with artists, it's difficult to see these artists. They dive inside of what they watch or what they touch in general. They just, most of the time, take an idea from what they see in that moment in 1-2 seconds, and they don't drive away from that idea most of the times. I mean, it's fortunately there are not only people like that, but I'm perceiving that it's becoming more difficult and difficult to let feel what is the process, the big process behind an images. And I mean, in a way, this podcast born also for that, to talk about that, to talk about the experience we have before and after and during our works, as not only a research of what is beautiful, but the meaning, and how much is in the constantly transformation, the meaning of a word, of a composition, in this case a visual image.
I think as an artist, we're born with every person, we're born with a very high sensitivity, and as an artist, even more. And I think if you don't dive into that sensitivity, then you're just going to be numb. And of course, you're going to just copy paste something. But it's not about us being numb. It's about us, like, I think for me, it's about first I have to completely lose myself, and then I can expect others to get lost into it. Like this is like for me, doing fertility wasn't something easy. It was, as I said, like it was hard. Like it was process. Maybe for someone it is easy. For me it wasn't. It was like it was going through my own difficulties as a woman, not having a cycle, not like I was healing myself. I had a lot of past with it. So for me it was like trying to figure it out, and it wasn't it was really like getting my head against it. But I think that's why I wanted it so badly as well. Like, that's why I also wanted people to perceive it differently. Like, for me, it was all of that had to come out. It had to be understood differently. And so I think, in a way, we have to give up our our comfort zone. We have to give up the comfort zone where we just go and be like, okay, I'm an artist, I'm just gonna draw whatever picture that someone else did, and I'm gonna get inspired by that. But I don't think that's it. I think being an artist means you're living life to its fullest, and then you're coming out with it, and you're, as you said, you're trying to get 1% of what you're living into the world, and
0.1%.
And it's, and the more you can do it, the more the more you can gain. It's not about visibility, it's about touching people. I don't think, for me, it's about like how many people see it, but if they get touched in the right way, then it's good. Like, it's not about me becoming something, but about them also feeling that. I mean, that's for me the most important thing. Otherwise the experience wouldn't be necessary. Like, if I had to go through things, it's because so others don't have to go through the same, or so others might feel something about it. I think otherwise the experience wouldn't be needed, and I think that was the most important thing.
I agree with you, and at the same time, Jump always, after many podcasts I record, I always think about, okay, what is art? For me, it's, I will be probably the most kicked person in the world every time I talk about this topic. But for me, art is, is a word as a lot of meaning, but also no meaning in a way. And is a really interpersonal concept of what we're doing. And for me, everything can be art. And so then, in a way, I destructure totally the meaning of this word, and I go to check, okay, what is behind what people call it art, and that's a bit a way of my research is in this podcast or in the project, or even in reading or just watching people, and for me, everything is art. Everything is art because everything is made in a different way, also in a little percentual way of differences is different, and we create 100% every day, 24 hours on 24 for all of our life. And even if we die, someone create because of us. And now, I'm curious to ask you that things. Now because I became father yesterday, so I'm
congratulations.
Thank you. Before I was watching my daughter sleeping, no, and so she was 9 months in the belly, and now she was dreaming, and because she was doing a lot of expression, no? And I was asking myself, okay, what is she dreaming now? What you can dream when you have seen only probably less than 24 hours of life, and only
the real dreams.
Yeah. And this is so, for me, I'm so curious about that. And I would share all the time how she behaved. And I want to ask to you, how much influenced you? How much you feel influenced from your parents?
My parents.
Yeah.
I think my parents, I'm grateful to them rather than, like seeing it as an influence. I think I'm very grateful because they're the reason I am the person I am. Whether or not, it doesn't matter. Like, what comes to you in the end is somehow just the emotions you had with them, and for me, they gave me so much love, I have to be honest, and I think that love stayed with me. I think what I can say is that beyond everything is just that the love they shared with me is made me the person who I am and gave me the opportunity to see all this beauty in life. So for me, it's like a big gratefulness, because if it they just gave me the chance to be who I am. So it's rather than an influence, it's like it's just a great gift for me, because they are the ones who also supported me the whole time, and who are who told me when I said I want to be an artist, photographer, they didn't say no, or they didn't, and they were the ones who brought me into diving into myself, who gave me a lot of freedom on choices. They gave me a lot of like possibilities to be myself. So definitely it was, for me as a person, they are like definitely the most important people in my life. So far. I mean, it's because I don't have a family on my own, so they're definitely, it's where we come from, and I think it's important to recognize it and accept all of it, but really as the gift of someone who brought you to the world, someone who gave you life. I think if someone gives you life, there is nothing more beautiful, because you're there, and then you can create and do whatever comes. So for me, that's all that stays with me somehow.
It's amazing. It's amazing. So I think, yeah, I will go on for hours, but yeah, unfortunately I cannot. But I hope we can have other talks and having also in other projects you do it, and some other stuff I have read, especially from your Instagram page. But it was nice to meet you for me, and it was nice to talk with you. And in a way unique, I think, because your work is unique in a way, and I mean, it's not a lot of stuff I have seen in my life as your creativity. I would suggest you to watch some works when I will remember the name of all the artists that I know they're doing a similar process you have, because I think it's really nice to talk with people doing similar work, and especially to dive in the conversation to understand why they did this process, because sometimes we can find for sure something of ourselves in them.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
So this was Alexandra Von Fuerst. That a name at that beginning, I was thinking it was German, and if you want to watch the work of Alexandra, you can just find the link in description. If you want to join in this conversation with a comment, you can just click the last link in description for a voice message. And that was everything for today with her.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. It was really a pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. Learn more about our project at allmylinks.com/Berlin Explorer, or visit our Instagram and follow Berlin Explorer Project.